Hey everybody, it's Brad at Deere Brothers LLC out in Versailles, Ohio. Going to do another walk around video followed by an operational video on this 2006 John Deere 3203 tractor that came in and we're putting up for sale. Like always, I'll walk around, I'll talk about the features and functions, I'll get up close to everything, I'll show you everything that I see, tell you everything that I know. Then of course we'll fire it up, run it through its paces, show you that the pins are fairly tight up front, show you the 3-point and the PTO. Let you hear the engine, show you the hydraulics are strong, lift the front end up, show you the 4-wheel drive works. As always, if you are in the market for a used tractor, a used piece of ag equipment, or a used piece of construction equipment, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Your likes and subscriptions help other people who are looking for equipment find our videos and find our machines, and we truly do appreciate that. All right, like I said, this one's a 2006 3203 OROPS four-wheel drive. It's got the John Deere 300 front loader with John Deere quick attach. It is hydro R4 tires, obviously 32 horsepower pre-emissions diesel engine, and this one has 1,093 hours. So here in a little bit we'll fire it up and we'll show you that the pins up front here are fairly tight, hydraulics are strong. As I get up close to everything here, I'll try to point out anything that I see. Loader, the paint is pretty bright on the loader. A couple little nicks here and there. As you see, there's a little chip in the paint there. Up here, everything's pretty good here. Pretty bright and green and reflective. Everything looks pretty good on that loader arm. Taking a look at this front tire, I'm gonna say we're at probably 35–40% tread depth there. Little bit of weather checking, as you can maybe see. I don't know how well you can see it there. It's not bad, but there is a little bit of weather checking starting right there. Stepping back, that rim, fairly bright yellow paint. I can't tell, it's probably been repainted at some point. It maybe looks like a couple spots where I can see some scratches that have some paint in them. A couple little chips around the edges, a couple little nicks in the paint here and there, a couple spots right there where it's chipped out. Coming back here, taking a look at this rear fender. I'll try to move where the sun's at right now. It's kind of in a spot it's hard for me to get good, but as you can see here, there's a few scuffs and scratches in the fender. Again, it is a basically 19-year-old tractor with 1,000, almost 1,100 hours, so it's not perfect, but honestly fairly straight. Couple of little nicks and scuffs. I don't know how well you guys can see them. There's some scuffs here in the paint, some little scratches, but no big huge chunks missing or anything like that. Pretty straight as far as that goes. And then underneath inside the fender there, everything looks pretty good. Looking at the rear tire on this side, I'm gonna say we're at least 35–40%. I think I'm being very fair. There might be just a little bit better than that even, but I think I'm being very fair there. Definitely tread life left. Maybe just a little bit of weather checking starting. Not bad at all. Definitely life left in these tires. And then as I step back here and look at the rear rim on this side, it's definitely been touched up. You can see a little bit of overspray on down here on that tire. So that's been painted or at least touched up. There are a couple spots here where it's peeling off, chipped off a little bit. That paint starts flaking around the edges on these things, and then it just starts peeling away. And you can see there's a couple spots there. Coming back here, looking at the 3-point, top link. 3-point arms. Looks like this one's been patched on right there. It's got a little spot where maybe it cracked somehow. It's got a little weld on it. 540 PTO. The PTO shield looks good. As you can see, some of that paint is starting to flake off. Pretty common on these tractors. Starting to flake off back there, but honestly everything else looks pretty good back here. I don't see anything else out of the ordinary. Looking at the rear tire on this side, again, it matches up really well to the other side. I'm going to say it's about the same. Again, just a tiny little bit of weather checking here starting, but definitely life left in these tires. Sidewall looks pretty good. Little weather checking there. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but there is some weather checking starting. Rear rim on this side, again, looks like it's probably been touched up at some point. You can see some overspray there and on the valve. and some nicks around the edges, chips in the paint, and it's got a couple spots where it's starting to flake off a little bit. Looking at the rear fender on this side, again, as you can see, pretty reflective green paint. You can see our shop there in the background, but it's got some scuffs and some scratches, a little chip in the paint there, a couple little scuffs there, but no huge gouges out of it anywhere or anything like that. Everything looks pretty good there. Coming up here, we'll take a look at this front tire on this side. I would say tread depth is it's probably a little lower than the other side, and maybe it has some more, a little bit of weather checking and stuff starting on this side. It's not a lot different, but it is probably just a little bit lower. Like I said, a little weather checking there. Taking a step back, looking at this rim again, looks like it's probably been touched up at some point. Has a few nicks around the edges and everything, but a little bit of spot down there where it's kind of starting to flake up a little bit. Looking at the loader arm on this side, again, as you can see there, pretty reflective. You can see some equipment in the background there as I get up this angle here. Pretty bright green, fairly reflective. Pretty straight here. I don't see anything that looks like it's been cracked or welded or plated anywhere on this side of the loader arm. Take a look at the bucket. Bucket looks pretty good, honestly. That cutting edge is nice and straight. I don't see any big bows or dents or dings in the bucket. Honestly, still has quite a bit of paint in it. So that bucket looks pretty good. Grill guard's pretty straight. That black mesh up here's got a little bit of a small ding right there. Headlights look good. Looking at the paint up here, I don't know what happened here, but you can see there's like paint is just kind of, for lack of a better way of saying, it's kind of like peeled off, or almost like somebody tried to buff it and just got too aggressive with it there, and it kind of just wore the paint off. And I noticed some spots down here. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but the paint's flaking off on these little side shields on both sides. I don't know how. I'll try to show it when I go down by the engine, but both those little side shields, the paint's flaking off a little bit. Take a look underneath the hood here at the engine. All right, up here, everything looks pretty good there. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but behind the shield, but the fins look good on the radiator. I don't see anything that looks out of the ordinary there. Up top. Everything looks pretty good there. Underneath side of that hood looks good. We'll see if I can come over here and see what we can see from the side. It's kind of hard with the hoses for the loader, but on this side here, as you can see in there, a little dusty, but it is nice and dry. I don't see any oil or diesel running down the side of the block. Everything looks pretty good there. See that paint flaking off a little bit here on this side shield there, like I said. But everything down in there looks good from this side. We'll go to the other side, see what we can see. Before I look in there, see paint's starting to flake off on this plastic piece. These plastic pieces, I don't know why that paint always does that. It flakes off, and you can see there. Let's see, we'll take a close-up look here on the engine on this side. There, as you can see in there, it's nice and clean. It's very dry. Don't see any oil or diesel running down the side of the block anywhere here. Take a look at the operator station. That step's bent just a little bit there, that little step. But the platform here, everything looks pretty good there. Low and high range, four-wheel drive. We'll take a good look at the seat. Seat's in good shape. Just a little speck of dirt there. No, I don't see any cuts or tears in that seat. Inside of that fender looks good. Inside of that fender looks good. Hydro pedals. Both of those look decent. Looking up here, your controls, dash. I don't know how well you guys can see it there, but 1,093.9 hours. Diesel fuel there. All right, like I said, this one's a 2006 John Deere 3203, 1,093 hours. Plenty of photos on our website. That's listed down below in the description. If you have any questions, comment down below. We'll try to answer them for you. I'll get that hood shut. We'll fire it up and get right into an operational video.